news feed. They're getting the latest breaking news on their mobile phones, or they're using Facebook mobile, and they're seeing that a friend posted some major news story and they're clicking on it there. So that's how they're getting, the number one way they're getting their news as they're walking throughout the day now. And the biggest thing that they are doing from a mobile access standpoint is news and events, then weather, then sports, business, entertainment, politics down the line there. So there's no question that more and more consumers are using these mobile devices to access websites, and obviously they're starting to access property information. So knowing that, let's talk a little bit about QR codes. I know many of you have heard of QR codes, and some of you might be a little bit confused as to what they are and how you really use them in real estate. So a QR code is what you see on the center of the screen in the bottom there. It just looks like a bunch of little ink blots, right, all grouped into a little square. By the way, for those of you that have a smartphone right now and a QR code, you can scan that and see where it goes. So what QR codes do, they give you the ability to connect the offline world to the online world. And what that means is anybody with a smartphone and a camera, which is a lot of them out there, and the QR reader application. How do you get a QR reader application? Well, just go to wherever you download apps. So if you have an Android, it's called the Android Marketplace. It's right on your phone. If you have an iPhone, then you go to the App Store. So you go right there and download a free QR reader. If you have a BlackBerry, go to the BlackBerry Marketplace. They have a free QR reader you can download there. So once you download that QR reader, you're going to touch that button, and it basically turns on your camera. Then you take a photo, you hit the button, and it takes a photo of a QR code, and what QR codes do is tell that mobile device what to do next. And that could be to go to a website. It could be to automatically launch a YouTube video that you've recorded and uploaded to YouTube. It could be go to a audio file. There's a number of different things that you can link people to based on this QR code. So how are realtors using it? Well, here's just kind of a smattering of examples that I pulled off of Google Images earlier. So the one on the bottom left is like a billboard. And one thing about QR codes are actually designed to be read in high speed. They were designed actually by Toyota over in Japan to track auto parts years ago that were flying by the assembly line really fast. So what this means is, unlike a UPC where you got to kind of get it just right sometimes, a QR code, you can be driving down the freeway at 70 miles an hour and see that QR code up on a sign, hold your phone out the window or even through the glass and hit the camera button, and that thing is going to pick it up and send your phone to wherever that person wanted your phone to go. So we see realtors using it all sorts of places. They're using it on yard signs. They're using it in newspaper ads. Again, connecting offline world to online world. And they're using it on business cards. I've seen it on the back of business cards. You scan it, it might go to that agent's website, or it might pull up a YouTube video of that agent saying, hey, thanks for scanning the back of my card. I try to use the latest marketing technologies available to get my property sold as fast as possible. This is just another one of those ways to show home sellers that, hey, I'm on the leading edge. I'm really looking at where consumers are going. Now, are QR codes changing the world? Is that way people are buying all their homes? No. The adoption of QR codes is actually still fairly slow, although you've seen it's up 700% this year. It's something that, you know, if a realtor says, oh my gosh, is that going to be the new way real estate's done? No. It's just another way to market properties. And right now it's hot, so why not utilize that to show that, hey, I'm always looking for ways to take advantage of new marketing ideas. And here's the other cool thing about it. It's free. So things that are free that make you look smarter, I think those are worth doing, right? So when we're talking to home sellers, it gives us a great way to show them you're doing something different. So let's make one. I'm going to show you how simple this is. So I want you to write down a web address called www.goo.gl, or even if you just write down goo.gl. This is not google.com, it's not goo.com, it's goo, G-O-O, .gl. So I'm going to pop out of here and go over into my browser now and go over to a Google window. And if you wanted to type it into Google, you certainly do that, but easier just to type it right up into the top of the address bar. So I'm just going to type in goo.gl. And what goo.gl is a free tool from Google that allows you to shorten URLs. And when I mean shorten URLs, it also allows you to create QR codes for free. So what do you need to do before you create your first QR code? The first thing you need to do is you need to decide, when somebody actually scans this, where do I want their phone to go? Do I want it to go to a listing? Do I want it to go to a video that I recorded out on YouTube? Where do I actually want this to go? So for example, let's say I wanted it to go directly to a video. I'm going to go out here to YouTube. And by the way, if you've not created your own channel out on YouTube, I would encourage you to do that as well. It's free, so that way you get your own URL. So I've got youtube.com/MaxPigman is my channel. So that gives me a place to upload different videos. So I uploaded a review of a new application for the iPhone, or the Realtor.com application for Android. So let's say in this particular case that what I wanted to do, oh, by the way, if you want more information on QR codes, you'll see I actually recorded a video up here called Using QR Codes in Real Estate, so you can go watch that. But let's say I wanted to create this QR code and link it directly to a video. So I'm not going to actually play the video, but what I need is I need this URL up in the top. You see in the top address bar, I'm going to highlight this in blue. That is the actual URL to this specific video, right? So that means I could send that in an email to someone, and they click on it, they're going to watch this video. So I'm going to hit Edit Copy, and then I'm going to go back over to this goo.gl, and I'm going to hit Edit Paste, and I'm going to paste that really long, ugly URL into that block, and then I'm just going to hit Shorten. Now when I hit Shorten, you see it comes up right here at the top, YouTube, Max Pigman, blah, 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 and watch what happens when I click on the Details button. When I click on the Details button, it's going to create a QR code for me, absolutely free. So this right here is called a QR code. I can take this and save it. So I can hit Save Image As, and I want to save that image over to my desktop, and I'm going to put YouTube Video Link. That's what I'm going to call that image, right? So that's going to be saved. Now, the only way you can do this, or the best way to do this, is to use your Gmail account. If you have not signed up for a Google account, you need to do that. Google, you know, is the biggest thing there is, right? I mean, now Facebook is starting to get into that scary realm, but Google has a lot of tools that you can use for free, and all you need to do is have a Gmail account. So up here you see my Gmail address. By the way, don't email me at that. I don't check that address. I like to use this address as an email that I sign up for all sorts of stuff with. So I know that it's going to get sold, and I'm going to have an inbox full of Viagra ads and all that other good stuff that we all run into in our spam box, right? I don't care, because I want to use this, and I can still go to it if I need something, and I can get a password out of it if, you know, I reset some account. But by having a Gmail account, now I get to use a lot of free tools on Google, such as this Google URL shortener found at goo.gl. So now I have my QR code, and it actually links directly over to the YouTube video that I had pasted in there, right? Now I can actually go back, and the cool thing about this service is not only will it link wherever you want it to link, it'll actually show you whether or not anybody has actually clicked on your QR code. Well, I just did a webinar. I just did a webinar an hour and a half ago, and I put a QR code there, and 41 realtors have scanned that QR code to see where it goes. So if I want to look at the details, watch what happens. I'm going to pull that up, and this has been out there for a while, but I'm going to look at just this last day, and we'll see all the people. So yesterday I had this many, but now 30 of them just in the last hour or so have actually scanned that QR code. And I know that 28 of them were using an iPhone, 12 of them were using Linux, and that's basically Android shows up that way, and one of them scanned it with a BlackBerry. 26 of them, again, Safari is the mobile browser for the iPhone, and 14 of them just were using some other type of mobile browser. So not only do you have a tool that you can show home sellers, hey, I'm doing something different for your property. So what I'd recommend that you do is you go to your website. Now, the thing that you always have to keep in mind is when a consumer scans the QR code, what are they going to see? Because if they